Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition. In this episode we're breaking down all of the leaked images for the upcoming film The Batman. The photos which dropped earlier this week confirm some big fan theories, give us our first look at Robert Pattinson, and the time setting for the movie. Throughout this video we're going to be discussing everything that you need to know about them and giving our thoughts about how they leave the door open to tie into the larger DCEU. Obviously there's gonna be heavy spoilers here, so if you don't want anything potentially ruined about the movie, then I highly suggest that you turn off now. With that out of the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this video. Now let's get into our breakdown of all of the leaked Batman images. Okay, so the first photos that leaked online actually dropped over the Christmas and New Year holidays, and they give us a lot of information about the general aesthetic of the film. The images that were posted on the 30th of December showcase a cathedral set being built, as well as a number of blimps floating around it. Now, this is important for a number of reasons, as firstly, the cathedral itself indicates that there will be a big funeral scene in the film. No points for guessing who that is. We do know that this film will sort of be a reinvention of the Caped Crusader that differs slightly from the recent portrayal by Ben Affleck in Batman v Superman and Justice League. Therefore, it does make sense to showcase his origin story in some way. Though we all know the Batman origin story as it's been done to death, a bit like the Waynes, we've never actually seen the characters' funerals on screen. Now this is something that I haven't really seen people talking about, but it leaves a wealth of possibilities open for character appearances that introduce the big players in the movie. You have to understand that the death of the Waynes would have brought many people together for this occasion, and thus it is possible that some of the big names from the underworld could be in attendance. This could include a number of big and notable criminals such as Carmine Falcone, who's been cast as John Turturro. Falcone is a big player in the graphic novel Along Halloween, which this movie is reportedly based upon, so I believe that this event will showcase his ties with the Waynes, which we discover in the book, and also perhaps introduce his henchmen, potentially the Penguin and many more. The funeral will provide an amazing place to set up the big names of the city, and I think that it's an inspired choice to finally show this on screen. Outside of the set, we can also see that it's surrounded by blimps, so shout outs to the 90s kids that remember blimps. In case you don't, they were a huge aesthetic to the Gotham skyline in the Batman animated series from the 90s. They added an almost timeless feel to the work at the time, and it's clear that Matt Reeves is aping them in some ways. In addition to this, the set shows that it's been painted black throughout, perhaps teasing that this could be a nighttime setting or even a way to darken the environment. The animators for the animated series themselves used to draw on black paper rather than white, as this darkened the colours, and this could perhaps be a way to mirror that stylistically. Or could just be a block out light from the outside, I don't know. Anyway, I have seen some people complain that the blimps look a bit low budget, but often in movie productions, placeholders are put onto sets so that actors have something to bounce off of. They also allow visual effects artists to understand positioning and lighting, so it is possible that they could be polished up once the film is wrapped and it's moved on to the next stage of production. The photos that followed after were taken by Twitter user 100 Jordan Lee, and they actually confirm a lot of things about the film, including its time setting and a possible crime scene. Initially, they do seem rather blasé, just showing news vans and police cars, but due to some tiny details, they actually confirm a lot of things about the movie. Firstly, the news vehicles have HD written on the side of them, so all of the theories that the movies will be set in the 90s are now out the window. However, news stations haven't really bragged about filming in HD for at least 10 years now, so this confirms that the movie will be set in the early to mid 2000s. The fact that the Gotham Police Department are also riding around in old Crown Victorias shows the difference between the funding for police services and the media. Clearly, Gotham PD isn't really getting the money that they should be, and this could also explain why crime and corruption is so high. In order to require a Batman, the city needs to have a reason for his existence, and this does hint that the police simply aren't equipped to deal with the darker side of the city. There is someone who looks like they could be the commissioner, so this might cement that Gordon is still a captain or low ranking officer that, similar to the Dark Knight, must work his way up. Jeffrey Wright has himself confirmed that he will be in the movie, so it does look like he will be taking on the role of Gordon, as we reported last year. There's also a nice little Easter egg to Gotham Action News, which was actually a station in the 1989 Tim Burton film Batman, so it's nice that Reeves is once more paying homage to the visions that came before. Not long after these photos were posted, Twitter user Wade Grab dropped some images that they'd taken from outside their office that shows what appears to be the Penguin. The Penguin is of course known for his signature collection of weaponized umbrellas, so this definitely fits the character, though it could just be Rihanna. I'm sorry, that joke was terrible. Anyway, the internet correctly guessed that this was Colin Farrell, and director Matt Reeves confirmed this on Twitter this morning by posting a gif of the actor with the caption, "Wait, is that you, Oz?" and a bat symbol after it. Yeah, it's 100% confirming it. Looks wise, it seems like the design team are mirroring the design of Emperor Penguin from the comic books, and though this wasn't Oswald Cobblepot, it looks like they've made some creative leaps. The Penguin has never looked like this on screen before, but personally, I'm really liking it. This comes off the back of talks with Jonah Hill coming to an end after he wanted $10 million for the role. This is double what Robert Pattinson wanted, and I'm glad they kind of filled the character's shoes with someone else, as I think Farrell will deliver a lot better than Hill ever could. I did see a couple of people saying that Batman villains getting paid more than Batman himself is crazy, but yeah, do your research. The villains on the whole always tend to get paid more than the actor playing Batman does. But yeah, Jonah Hill, he isn't of the same caliber as Jack Nicholson, Jim Carrey, and Arnie in the 90s anyway. Just my opinion personally, but I do think that Farrell is far more sinister than Hill is. The photos that followed this then showed our first look at Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. Heavily masked and hidden, he was sat on a bike, observing what could potentially be this crime scene that's brought the police, news vans, and Penguin together. There was also a helmeted photo posted that, if you notice the different pants, shows that this is a stuntman, so we could get some moments where Bruce speeds away on his bike. Either way, he's observing the scene very closely, and the costume actually has a lot of similarities to the Batman Zero Year graphic novel, in which the character appeared on top of a bike, backpack and all. Not to say that they're taking directly from this, but I do think that there are some similarities that will probably be more apparent when we see how framing is shot from the same sort of angles as the panel. Bringing all of these images together, you actually have a lot of added subtext to the film. There's theories floating about that the Penguin will be the mayor of Gotham City, as he was in Batman Earth 1, and it makes sense for him to be at this location of what is clearly a big crime scene. Whether he caused it, or like Brucey's just observing it, we don't really know yet, but there's a lot going on here. It also shows that crime is high in the city, and that Bruce has noticed this and has begun studying the ins and outs of Gotham's underbelly. So yeah, lots of interesting things in these photos. Now, before we get into the fan theories, I just want to shut down a photo that was posted recently by We Got This Covered that claimed to be showing the design of the Batsuit. This was actually revealed to be an FX prop, so yeah, just in case you think we've seen the first Batsuit image, we haven't, but I can imagine it coming out in the next couple of weeks, as I'm sure DC and just the creative team in general will want our first look to be a good image rather than one taken by someone on a street corner. Now onto the fan theory. So weighing up the time setting, I actually think that this is being set up to not only tie into the recent Joker film, but it's also been made as a way to leave the door open should DC wish to tie it into their extended universe. We're going to be spoiling the ending of Joker, so if you haven't had a chance to see the movie yet, then this is your time to turn off. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around, and hopefully this theory puts a smile on your face. Okay, so firstly, Joker was set in the mid-80s, and the film culminates in the death of the Waynes in Crime Alley. Bruce Wayne is roughly about 10 years old in this, so by the time he ages up for the 2000s, he'd also be roughly the same age that Pattinson is in the film. Thomas Wayne was running for mayor in that movie, so with him no longer being in place, that could leave the door open for Penguin to step in and start ruling the city. Now, it has been widely published that Joker was a standalone movie that won't be connected. However, since that statement, even Phoenix himself has come out and said that he would be interested in returning for the role. The movie grossed $1 billion, Phoenix is already winning Best Actor awards left, right and centre, so yeah, it does make sense for Warner Brothers to get the creative team back at any cost. I personally believe that they will be doing whatever they can behind the scenes to at least leave some ties here, so that maybe one day, possibly in a sequel, we could see the two go head to head. If the Batman does well, then this could be a massive film, and obviously fan hype will be there to make sure it's worth it. Like, yeah, just imagine seeing Phoenix's Joker go up against a Batman. You can't tell me you don't want to see it. Now what this time setting does is that it also leaves the door open for tying this version of Batman in with the larger DCEU. Though Batman v Superman and Justice League underperformed, characters like Aquaman, Wonder Woman and Shazam have gone on to have great success. Birds of Prey is still going ahead and so on, so it is possible that DC could want to tie everything together so they have a streamlined universe with the recasts. We do know that Batman in BVS has been operating for roughly about 20 years, and with this movie being set in the 2000s, there is potential that this younger version of the character could tie into the one that we see later. I think the whole 2000s thing has been put in place just to leave the door open, just in case they want to tie them together, and yet there's a lot of food for thought there, and I do think these time settings leave a lot of wiggle room for the studio to begin to bring everything together. Who knows, we might end up finding out that the Joker from Suicide Squad was a version of Jason Todd, as was theorized, but yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on these photos, and if you agree with my theory. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you check out my breakdown of the news that the Defenders are now going to be used in Marvel properties. We go over the entire story, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more. If you want to come chat to me after the video, then make sure you follow me on Twitter at DefinitionYT, or head over to my Discord server, which will be linked in the description below. We drop videos on there early, so if you want to see stuff before anyone else, then that's the best place to be. It's free to join and we have an awesome community, so hopefully I'll see you over there very soon. We're also giving away a free copy of Joker, which is one of our favourite movies of the last year, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribed and leave your thoughts on the photos in the comment section below. The winner's going to be chosen at random on the 15th of January and the set will be shipped out from then to whoever gets the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for people who are super into superheroes, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I've been Definition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.